back for a reading update. I've been sick and I still have some nose throat issues going on, so excuse the voice and also excuse if I have to do jump cuts for coughing fits and things like that. Anyway, I've been reading Naomi Novik novels and Becky Chambers novels, so I'm going to share those in this video. First is the Temeraire series, which is by Naomi Novik, and the first book is His Majesty's Dragon. The series has the coolest premise and is kind of all you need to know about it. So what if we had dragons during the Napoleonic Wars? And really that's all I knew going into this book, and that sold me. But I'm going to go into a little bit more detail in this video. So the dragons in this world, they're not like war horses. The fighting dragons are smart. They're just as intelligent as humans. They can speak human languages. And our main character, Lawrence, he is the captain of a British ship, and he takes a French frigate and takes their cargo, including a very precious dragon egg. And the dragon egg hatches on Lawrence's ship, and then the dragon Temeraire imprints on Lawrence. So that's the end of Lawrence's seafaring career. He's an upper-class British gentleman, and so being in the Navy is pretty respectable. But now he's bound by duty to use the dragon. Dragons are rare, they're valuable, and so he asked Temeraire, like, hey, let's go fight in the aerial corps because this is like what we need to do for England. And the aerial corps is a lot more lower middle class. So he goes in this world and it's also kind of cliquish. So like Lawrence has a lot of trouble there. He's very upper class British restrained, and it's a little hard to deal with that early in the book just because restraint is just one of my personality pet peeves. But Lawrence loves Temeraire so much, which makes up for a lot of the flaws he has, and before Lawrence develops more. My other issue with Lawrence is that his kind of like lack of intellectualism. But again, he loves Temeraire, and so he's trying to become a more critical thinker because Temeraire is asking him all these philosophical and ethical questions about how society works and things like that. And so his Temeraire's needs, both like physical and mental and emotional, they make Lawrence a better person because Lawrence wants to fulfill things for Temeraire and he loves him so much. But back to the plot. So Lawrence and Temeraire, they go to the aerial corps and they have this crash course in airborne battle and things like that. And then Bonaparte makes a very ballsy attack on England, and so they must fly off to battle. And it's just a really, really thrilling book. I've been thinking so much about how dragons work in this world, about how airborne combat is going to work with them. I've just been immersed in this, and I've been really enjoying that. And so I've moved on to the second book, which is Throne of Jade. And in this one, remember how Lawrence stole Temeraire from a French ship? Well, that egg was bred by the Chinese, who are the best dragon breeders in the whole world, and they intended for that egg to go to Bonaparte. So they are right pissed that that egg fell into the wrong hands. So an angry Chinese delegation comes to England and they demand Temeraire back. Lawrence refuses, and a particular act of defiance costs him, and so Lawrence has to accompany Temeraire back to China. The voyage is a thrill. It's a really wonderful seafaring part of the book. And then when they get to China, things get even more interesting. No spoilers though, because it's a great surprise. So I'm definitely hooked on this series. It's finished. It's 10 books long, and I think I'm just going to read through the rest of it. Overall, it's a great page-turning series. I just really love the world, and I'd say that they pack a lot of fun into pretty short books. Like they're like 300 pages-ish. I really liked these Temeraire books. Moving along, I also read a couple books by Becky Chambers in her Wayfarers universe. The first is A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, which is actually a reread, but I decided to reread it before the next Wayfarers book, even though they're not related. The second book is definitely a standalone, but I love this book so much. It's about a multi-species crew. They're on a tunneling ship, and they have the best characters. I love the characters so much. I love their dynamics. I love how they're a found family. It's all just really wonderful and heartwarming. It's one of those, what you would call a cozy sci-fi. So for the plot, there are episodes about what happens during their really long haul trip to their next tunneling job. It takes them a whole year, and so we get these episodes that show off the characters, and it's just really lovely. It's really a very quiet book, not plot-centric and all, but the character-centricness of it is so strong. I love these characters just so much, and it's the most heartwarming book, so I really enjoyed going back to that. So then I read A Closed and Common Orbit, which is the sequel to Long Way to the Small Green Planet, but as I said, a standalone. It's about 2 periphery characters that were in the previous book, and those 2 characters aren't any of the ones that are in that multi-species crew that I was talking about, that lovely crew. Really periphery characters. And so one of those characters is an AI who wakes up in an organic body, which is very much illegal. And then the other character is her friend who helps her adjust to this new life. And we get chapters of the AI's new life interspersed with chapters about the past life of her friend, and they go to very interesting thematic places. They're very much character studies. This book is character studies about these 2 characters living their lives currently in this very bustling port city, but about a lot of things about love and identity and things like that. And so I didn't like this as much as the first book because you can't beat an ensemble cast for trying to fit my tastes. But both of these books are about love, and they're really, really awesome. So I hope you enjoyed hearing about these excellent books that I've been reading over the past couple weeks. Till next time, my lovelies.